Hi, this is Tamara Rubin. I'm here to talk to you about vintage Pyrex. TamaraRubin.com, LeadSafeMama.com. Now, first I want to address the fact that there's some BS out there on the internet. Basically, Snopes wrote an article in 2016 that's fraudulent and false and misleading, and they haven't retracted it. Snopes has written 4 articles about my work. In 2 of those articles, they've called me an expert, and they've cited my work as the reason something's true. And in 2, they've tried to sow doubt about the things I say. And they really should retract that article from 2016 because it's misled a lot of people. And there are people out there on the internet licking the outside of their Pyrex bowls to show that they're not concerned about the lead on them. We've actually done some dust wipe samples and shown that the lead comes off, microparticulate lead, and we're talking about aggregate lead exposure in your home and the need to remove all sources of lead because we don't want any lead exposure in our lives, and I will be washing my hands after touching this. Anyway, so I use XRF technology, as always, to test consumer goods, including the vintage Pyrex. I want people to understand that the glass tests positive. The white milk glass, this one in particular, is about 200 parts per million lead. That will not test positive with a LeadCheck swab. The LeadCheck swabs are not designed to test consumer goods. They're also not designed to test dishes. They're designed to test house paint. And so if you use a LeadCheck swab on one of these, and again, these range in from like 200 parts per million lead to 2,000 parts per million lead, the interior white glass won't test positive, but it will test positive with an XRF instrument. And if it's high enough lead, it could leach lead, although it's not that likely to leach lead at those levels, but it's concerning. The bigger concern is the paint on the outside. The paint on the outside of this is over 200,000 parts per million lead. The amount of lead that's considered illegal and unsafe in newly manufactured items intended for use by children manufactured today is anything 90 parts per million or higher in the paint laser coating, or anything 100 parts per million or higher in the substrate. So in this case, the glass is over 100, and that's the substrate, and the paint is over 90, and that's the coating. But mixing bowls aren't intended to be used by children. They're not newly manufactured. These are vintage. Here I'm going to crack open a fresh LeadCheck swab. The end is white, and I just want to show you it's orange on the middle. And when you test this with the reactive agent home kit, which I have not done on this particular bowl, but I've done it on a bunch of others, it immediately starts to turn pink. The more you rub it, the more pink it turns, and that's because this is lead paint. We know that. The amount of lead in paint that's considered illegal on a house, if like you're renting a house and HUD needs to come and remediate, is paint that's 5,000 parts per million or higher, and this is 200,000, so this is really high lead paint. Please don't use these for food use purposes. Please don't believe everything you read on Snopes. They don't know what they're talking about. They don't do their research, and their articles aren't thorough. My name is Tamara Rubin. Check out LeadSafeMama.com, TamaraRubin.com for more discussion of this topic.